There are a lot of quirky phrases we use every day, and everyone knows what we mean when we say them, even if we don't know exactly where they come from. I'm talking about phrases like face the music or keep your eyes peeled. I'm honored to have my brain picked, but I'm worried if someone says they have a bone to pick with me. It's crazy. My favorite of these is idle hands are the devil's workshop. I'm Michael Quinn Sullivan with a reflection on life and liberty. Maybe it's better to say that phrase has been used often in my life, directed at me by myself at least as often as by others. No one gets in more trouble than someone who's idle. We were made to be active and productive. Something deep within our created spirit knows that doing nothing isn't natural, and so in idleness, we start doing what we shouldn't. St. Paul addressed this in his second letter to the people of Thessalonica. In the NIV translation, the letter warns the readers to keep away from every believer who is idle and disruptive and does not live according to the teaching you received from us. In the ESV, it's rendered as, keep away from any brother who is walking in idleness and not in accord with the tradition that you received from us. Whichever of these you prefer, the ordering is purposeful. The warning is against spending time with those fellow believers, those brothers who are idle. Like a virus, the state of being idle is a degenerative disease. When it grips its victims, even the believer is drawn into disruptive activities and very quickly outright sin. As Paul later adds, some among you walk in idleness, not busy at work, but busy bodies. We see this all the time. In my experience, lawmakers go bad and get trapped in scandal because they spend free time away from their families, friends, and the accountability of honest work back home. They end up hanging out in bars with lobbyists rather than making the effort to go home to sometimes face the music from their constituents and others. They justify it by the sympathy-inducing claim of needing to get rest. But more often than not, that rest turns into idleness, which leads to distractions that are altogether unrighteous. A friend who knows himself and his own susceptibility to vice likes to say he can get rest when he's dead. That's probably the right way to look at it scripturally. By the standard of St. Paul's life, I certainly think he would agree with the sentiment. In his letter to the Galatians, Paul made a pretty explicit promise. And let us not grow weary of doing good, he wrote, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Feeling weighed down by a calling to be in the fight? Then we need to do more. Feeling tired of being engaged? Then we need to do more. Our high calling as citizens is to never, never, never give up. Our even higher calling as a people of faith is to keep pressing upward in doing good. If you like today's reflection, please rate it and leave a review and encourage your friends to listen. The Reflections on Life and Liberty podcast is presented by Texas Scorecard, and today's edition was produced by Nick Shepard in the 1836 studios. I'm Michael Quinn Sullivan. Thanks for listening.